This is gonna be one of the best tools that you can ever use to help ensure you're sticking to your plan as best as possible. So watch this video, because this is gonna be the difference between you losing half of a pound in a week and 2.5 pounds in a week. What is up, YouTube? It's Coach Kris here, sweating like a pig. It is really warm in here. Apparently, when everyone leaves this office building, they turn the cooler off and they leave me to sweat. I'm a hot guy anyway. I'm glad this is visual. You don't actually get the scent through the camera. Before I go home to take a shower, which I desperately need to do, I wanted to shoot a video in here, one sweaty, so you guys can actually believe that I live this lifestyle and I might know a thing or two about what I'm talking about. More importantly, I have to do this now because the sooner I get this video out, the quicker that all of you can be a major success. Today, I'm gonna introduce something to you that has nothing to do with this gym here. It has everything to do with your journey in a weight loss, your journey getting toned. It's all about the kitchen today, okay? That's what it's all about. And the topic of discussion is how to properly use a food scale. If you've never used a food scale before, this is gonna be one of the best tools that you can ever use to help ensure you're sticking to your plan as best as possible. Your coaches are gonna make you use one. If you ever heard of macro dieting, you're gonna need one, and you will notice a difference very quickly if you switch from portion sizing to actually weighing things out. A few grams of rice extra here, a few grams of potato extra here, 30 calories, 30 calories. Let's just say you eat 4 meals a day, that's 120 calories per day. That's 840 calories per week. You might be using sauces and whatnot that have extra calories here and there too. You might be having an entire extra day of eating, all because you didn't weigh your food out. It takes you 1 minute to weigh your food out once you get good at this. So watch this video. This is gonna be the difference between you losing half of a pound in a week and 2.5 pounds in a week. I have hundreds of clients who have not been using a food scale, choose to use the food scale, and realize they were eating 200 to 300 calories extra per day. Not to mention that when you get hungry, your eyes get bigger than your stomach. And your portion sizes somehow go from 4 ounces of chicken to 8 ounces of chicken without you knowing why. You're like, dude, I had the meals, coach. I did the plan, coach. Did you weigh it out? No. Were you really hungry before you ate? Yeah. You probably had 3 cups of rice instead of 1. How many times have you been shopping and you're like, hey, I'm gonna go down this aisle. You're looking around and you're like, ooh, Rice Krispie treats. Snag.
I have a lisp. I can't just say Rice Krispies treats out loud. Blue bar.
Open the bag, eat the thing, doing your deal, right? Yeah, that's what happens when you're hungry. You eat extra, you eat what you're not supposed to. If you have a food scale, you're gonna be able to weigh everything out perfectly, okay? So take a look at this video, because this is maybe not the most exciting thing in the world, but it is going to make a huge difference. It's gonna be quick, it's gonna be painless, and you're gonna freaking love me for it. So before you go to the food scale, I want you to please do me a solid favor. Subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button so you never miss a video that I put out, and you're always getting this free good information. And leave a comment on something that you would like me to make a video of. That way I can help you for free. I set a goal in life when I was young to help 1 million people in my lifetime improve their lives. Fortunately, social media actually makes that possible. But without you guys helping me get there, I will never reach 1 million people and help them change. So this is my attempt to do that, all right? Thank you guys so much. Without further ado, before I go into how the food scale works, I want to talk to you guys about how important it actually is visually. I'm gonna show you right here to weigh your food, what the difference actually is, how much of a difference it actually makes, okay? So I got a common snack that we all chew on here, and these come in different sizes, right? An apple can be a Fuji apple that's big, or it could be this normal red apple here. So I'm gonna weigh this real quick just to give you guys a little bit of perspective and explain some stuff. This apple right here, 134 grams, okay? So in 10 grams of apple, you have 5 calories. So if you have a Fuji apple that weighs an extra 30 grams, that means you're gonna have an extra, well, 10 grams times 3, so you're gonna have an extra 15 calories. 15 more calories for a bigger apple, okay? Not the end of the world. So if you go a little bit over on something like an apple, you're not gonna be in a really bad position, right? So weighing this out, you know, whatever. Just grab an apple and eat the apple. Don't weigh out, you know, this apple versus a Fuji, probably not worth your time. However, I'm gonna grab something else here, put it on the scale that makes a huge difference, okay? Give me a second, hold on. Oof. All right, here we go. I got these nuts right here.
Got him!
And I'm gonna put these nuts on the scale and we're gonna weigh out these nuts, because if you have too many nuts in your mouth, you're putting yourself in a really bad spot, because nuts are full of calories. This scale is your protection. You can't do that. Unlike the apple, inside of these, per 10 grams, you have 55 calories, right? There were only 5 here with the apple if you went over, but these nuts have an extra 55. So the difference between going over here by 10 grams and going over here by 10 grams is 50 extra calories. Well, this is a common snack right here. What happens if you go over 10 grams, which is like 1/3 of a serving of nuts? If you put too many nuts in your mouth 4 times a day, you are certainly gonna be missing your goals. You need protection. We weighed this sucker out. It is 73 grams, okay? A little more than 2 servings of nuts. What if you're only supposed to have 1 serving of nuts per day? This is gonna be too much. But this doesn't look like a whole lot, right? This is not that many nuts, in your opinion, but to me, that's a lot of nuts. I don't wanna put all these nuts in my mouth, so I'm not going to. Why? Because I weighed them out. Going over on this apple, not the end of the world. Eat the freaking apple. But these nuts can be the death of you. So don't go without weighing certain items. All right, now that you understand the importance of not putting too many nuts in your mouth, we're gonna go over to how to use the food scale properly. This food scale here, I bought it from Costco. It's a really nice food scale, and it was $17. You can find them on Amazon for about $10. They're very cheap, and it's a very helpful tool, so well worth the investment if you're staying committed to your goals and your goals are your top priority, whether it's weight loss or building muscle. So what we're gonna do is we'll teach you how to turn it on. So right here, there's a power button. You can see that the numbers are generated and it defaults to 0, okay? If it doesn't default to 0, if you have something, maybe nothing's on it, but the numbers don't show up as 0, what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna see these numbers and you press this button here that says tare. All food scales may not look like this, but they should have the same exact buttons. This button is power, here you see tare, here you see unit. That's gonna change from grams to ounces or pounds. All different measurements, you can change between them using the unit button. Hold is when you wanna hold a certain measurement. Typically, you don't have to use that a whole lot. I'm gonna start with my chicken, rice, and vegetable meal, and I'm gonna weigh that out according to what my plan says I should be doing. We're gonna put a plate on the scale. You can see this plate obviously has weight to it, so I'm gonna press tare once the plate is on the scale. I'm in grams right now. This right here, it says grams. Most of the time, don't measure chicken in grams. You'll measure it in ounces. So what are you gonna do to get from grams to ounces? All you do is hit this unit button and you'll see it switches. It says fluid ounces. I'm gonna hit it one more time and go to pounds and ounces. Now I'm in ounces and I'm ready to measure my chicken. I need 4 ounces of chicken. That's how I like to cook my chicken, in pieces, because it allows me to portion it out into smaller portions rather than cutting up a chicken breast that's full. Boom, we have 4.1 ounces. It's not quite 4. If you really want to be accurate, maybe this little tiny piece right here, you could break it off and all of a sudden you're at 4, right? We have our chicken loaded up on the plate at 4 ounces. You know, we want you to get 90 grams of cooked rice. That's about 30 grams of uncooked rice. Okay, well, we're in pounds and ounces right now. We're gonna hit tare to get it back to 0, and then we're gonna hit unit and go back to grams. Now we wanna get 90 grams of rice. Cool, we have our 4 ounces of chicken. We have our 90 grams of rice. Now we have some vegetables. You can be off by 20 grams or so on the vegetables because they have so few calories, right? What we're gonna do is we're gonna take these veggies here and we're gonna make sure that we're getting 60 to 80 grams of veggies. You don't wanna have to cut these up. You just wanna be able to use the veggies and not worry about 2 or 3 extra calories. So, and start loading up your veggies after you hit tare and 0 the scale out. There we go, 70 grams of vegetables. Good job. We are officially ready to eat once we throw this sucker in the microwave. One thing that I think is very important for your success is that you do stuff like this. You have this chicken fully prepared ahead of time in a large Tupperware. All you're doing to create your meals, rather than cooking the chicken every single time, is you have it cooked in bulk. You have it meal prepped, right? Same goes for the rice here, same goes for all of your veggies, right? You have it cooked in bulk. That way, all you're doing is picking from the giant Tupperware every single time instead of having to cook fresh chicken. We got it all on our plate. We're ready to put it in the microwave, but man, this looks very, very flavorless. We have pink Himalayan salt here. You don't want to go crazy on this stuff. You want to use some sort of measurement to gauge how much sodium you also have in your diet. Rather than guessing, hoping for the best, invest $3 on Amazon to get some of these. These right here are tablespoon and teaspoon measurements. A quarter teaspoon worth of salt or sodium is what you want to use to ensure that you're not going over your daily sodium intake. You can use a little bit less than that, and I'd advise that you do if you're also using some sort of sauce on your plate, but these are super, super cheap from Amazon, and they're such a good tool to have. So all I'm gonna do is open up the salt container here, stick my scooper down into it, measure 1 full quarter teaspoon, and then shake it onto the meal, right? Yum, delicious, we're ready to go. Let's set that to the side and let's talk about some of the other things that aren't as easy to measure, right? Why would something not be so easy to measure? Well, how about because peanut butter sticks to your spoon? Peanut butter and a spoon are a recipe for disaster when trying to be accurate on how to measure this, right? Plus, if I stick this spoon down in the peanut butter, I'm not gonna set it on the scale and try to weigh it out. That's gonna make a mess. I'm gonna take this peanut butter, and let's just say I have 16 grams that I am supposed to have in peanut butter, which is about half of a serving. I'm gonna tear this out, get it back to 0. It shows 16 grams, right? Rather than going for 16 grams and trying to continuously scoop into the peanut butter, I'm gonna go from 0. What I'm gonna do to measure this now is I'm gonna measure in reverse. I'm gonna get negative grams. So I'm gonna put this scooper in here, pull out some amount of peanut butter, and what was I left with? 15 grams. I can get a little bit more, and now I have 16 grams of peanut butter on this spoon, right? If I did this in reverse, and if I left the peanut butter over here, and I was trying to scoop and weigh and scoop and weigh, we would have a serious problem. There'd be peanut butter all over this sucker. I am all set. I weighed out my meal, and I'm gonna be a huge success this week when I weigh in, because I'm gonna be 2.5 pounds down instead of 1.5 pounds down last week. Even though I followed the plan the same way, this week I decided to measure it out, and now I'm gonna be that much more successful on my plan. Hopefully that was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. In the meantime, eat up.